All right, I suppose I gotta address the elephant in the room here. The elephant that I put in the room myself by opening my stupid mouth. But before I get into that, people have been asking me, do I have a Rumble account? You guys do realize, or perhaps you don't actually, if you click on somebody's name on YouTube and you look at their banner, if they have links set up, they're right here. You see, there's mine right there. But anyway, back to the elephant in the room, because about a week ago, I made a post implying I'm basically done with YouTube, and yet here I am, a week later, still here. So what gives? Why did I say that? Here's the situation with YouTube, in case you guys haven't noticed this. YouTube is heavily pushing the shorts, and so shorter content, because it's trying to compete with the Chicom spyware app, that is TikTok, competing to turn people's minds into dopamine-fed mush. And my goodness, if that's what we're reduced to, then we may as well make the shorts punchy, accurate, and funny. And in a way, I can't really fault YouTube for that. It's a business, and the rival business has produced a better product, so welcome to the free market. It's a wild jungle. Now, the reason I posted that is because I had noticed myself over the last, say, 3 or 4 months or so, there's been a small yet noticeable decline in my views. Now, the thing is with YouTube, it wants content that's monetizable. If you can't monetize it, forget about it. It gets zero traction. So up until a few days ago, for the last, say, 3 or 4 months, going back to November, it's rare that any of my videos will get restrictions. I'd say maybe about 2 or 3 over that period of time. So up until a few days ago, where the last 6 videos that I did, 5 of them were restricted. 5! And then another one, so 6 out of 7 were clamped. And that is a massive mood dampener, because why bother at all then? And then, all of a sudden, and perhaps I should take this as a good omen, by some bizarre instance of cosmic justice, as if YouTube saw that post, when, oh, I'm sorry about that, how about we make this video go viral? We'll get over 60,000 views and make it by far the most watched video on your entire channel. How's that? And I'm there going, alright then. And now I look like an idiot, so cheers for that. Because here's the situation with the shorter content. If you make longer content, I say longer than 90 seconds, put it that way, and that takes a script to write, to record, to edit the video, and all of that, and that gets, what, 1,800 to 2,200 views on a good day? And then you make something shorter, that takes not even 10% of the time and effort to make, and that gets up to, what, over 30 times the average views, which results in more subs and more money? It doesn't take a genius to see that and go, wow, we're in the wrong business, we should start doing that instead. Because it pays a lot more, and that is about the money, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. If you put effort into something and it bears fruits, you deserve to be compensated for your labor. Don't be like these lame-ass grifters who say, oh, it's not about the money. Yes, it is. Stop lying. I'd rather be thought of as greedy as opposed to greedy and dishonest, so there you go. Us South Africans are not known for lying. So with the shorter videos, here's the thing. At first I didn't like doing them, and here's why. Making the shorter videos is it's like mixing a good drug cocktail when you're really, really drunk. Let me explain that. In a normal capitalistic system, in the business environment, you deal directly with the customer. You know what they want, and you see what's being bought. And this allows for what's called resource allocation. The profit is what tells you where to put your time and effort, allocate the resources to provide for the consumer as best as you can. But when you're doing this with YouTube, this mechanism is largely missing. At times, trying to decipher the algorithm is a bit like having a business partner with a drug problem and short-term memory loss. Coming in going, hey, one of our products are doing really well. Oh, really? Which ones? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? How are we supposed to know which ones to make more of then? Oh yeah, sorry about that. Whoops. Because if you see a video getting 30 times what you normally get, you're gonna look at that going, what did I do to make it do that? And YouTube is not about to tell you why. But I did look at my analytics, and there is a common thread between the ones that do really well. As best as I can deduce, it seems to be contingent on the location of your audience, in my case it's mostly American, which is not a surprise considering my content's orientation, and what you post about. Because it looks like YouTube has a topic of the day trending tab, much the same way that Twitter does. So I'm essentially a memeing journalist. I'm the reporter in the news van, first to arrive at the scene. And this is why it's so important to get the content monetized, by the way. Now, in fairness to YouTube, they did greenlight all of my content that was restricted when I flagged it. The problem is this took 3 days, which makes the mechanism pretty much useless. Because it's like arriving at the scene with no frickin' camera. There's no point in getting the camera 3 days later. The story's over now. You have to strike while the iron is hot, so to speak. Now, this is where the shorts have grown on me rather quickly. Because this is how the shorts work, as far as I can tell anyway. And it forces me to work flat out. I have to pay attention, I have to work faster and work harder. The limited time frame forces me to be more disciplined, and so appeals to my competitive streak, and I am extremely competitive. I just happen to remain stoic rather well. So here's the point I'm trying to make, because I imagine this is pissing some of my long-term subscribers off, considering this is not the content that made the channel initially grow. But try and see it my way here. There just isn't a market for that kind of content in the algorithm right now, I'm sorry to say. I still like grinding every once in a while, so I will try and do that content as well, but it probably won't be with the same frequency, because that stuff just isn't as lucrative, either fiscally or for making the channel grow, which is what you're trying to do here. However, I still want to throw a bone to my old subs. So, best case scenario here is I can make the older style of videos every so often and use the shorter videos to drive an audience to Rumble or Odyssey. See, the main problem with decentralizing the views across the multiple platforms is it makes the user engagement very difficult to track because it's virtually non-existent. Also, it's not monetized, and let's be honest for a moment here, money talks. And so, if I can crowdfund money to rival YouTube, that tells me there's a good market for what I used to do regardless of the views because people are willing to pay for it. And that's the best indicator I have then. And trust me, should that happen, I can be a lot more honest and blunt away from this place. I can speak frankly about a whole bunch of things. About women, about race, crime stats, and the Rainbow Coalition, and I do not have to hold anything back. I can go based spoon in 6th gear with no throttling. Fun times! And I know, I've said for bloody ages now I'll set up a Patreon or a Subscribe Star or whatever, and I never do. But at this point, it's a requirement for going forward. And I've had a bunch of people tell me to get on Locals and Telegram as well, and maybe get some merch in too. Not sure what I would do for the merch, but definitely will have some, let's say thought-provoking slogans on them, I'm sure. But anyway, that's enough rambling for now. Oh wait, one last thing. This entire channel is getting a rejuvenation. I'm talking top to bottom, everything is going. New intro, new music, background, everything. I will still keep the little spoon guy because, look at him, he's adorable. I can't do the channel without him, so yeah, stay tuned, I've already made it. Ready to go when I want to use it. And that's all for now. Cheerio.